One of the most common questions that I get asked by clients is when they're eating out, how do they track? Obviously, it's fine to have the odd off-track meal, but if you eat out regularly, it's best to track these meals. So there are a few ways to do it. You can look at supermarket options. So, for example, you have chicken breast, chips, and broccoli. We'll just go for something simple. You could look at type in Tesco chicken breast. Most chicken breasts tend to be around 200 grams, or judge it by eye based on what you've already cooked yourself at home and the sort of portion size it looks like. So you could be like Tesco chicken breast, add that in. And then for chips, just because it's hard to judge portion size, I tend to use something like Nando's chips, Burger King chips, McDonald's chips, anything like that, just so you've got a fairly standard restaurant size portion. Like, they're all pretty much cooked in the same way, so that's close to as close as you're going to get. And then for your veg, again, a supermarket option, and just eyeball the weight and guess that from there. It sometimes does get a bit complicated with, like, if the meal is likely cooked in a lot of oil, especially if it's something like chicken breast, if you don't know if it's been grilled, fried in a lot of oil. So for something like that, I would tend to go for like a Nando's chicken breast of a chicken butterfly, because it's as close to what you're going to get for a generic option. Like, it's a full chicken breast, it's cooked with some oil, got a bit of sauce and seasoning on. It'll probably be very similar at most restaurants in terms of how it's cooked and the total calories for it. And then say you're eating somewhere that it's a burger, there's no calories on the menu. You could look at something like Five Guys because they give their nutritional value, and just choose maybe like the cheeseburger or something similar to what you're having. This way, you are going to be tracking as closely to what you're actually eating as you can. It's not going to be 100% accurate, but if you are tracking, it still gives you an idea. You're keeping accountable. You're still trying to fit things within your macros, or your calories. It is best to focus on calories more than macros when you're eating out, because you are going to really struggle to get your macros perfect. Ideally, pick a high protein option. Try and go for something that's a fairly reasonable portion size, because obviously some meals are ridiculous. If you're on 1600 calories, don't be going for a burger and chips, because that's probably a full 1600 calories. Also, things like if you're going to eat out at a chippy, if you look on MyFitnessPal, you could type in chippy chips, and there'll be loads of different options. Some might be 800 calories and some might be 200 calories. Like, obviously, we don't know how many calories are in it, but a chippy is not going to be 200 calories. It is best to go for the higher calorie option. It's cooked in fat, it's deep fried, it's going to be nowhere near 300 calories. I've seen clients tracking battered fish and chip meal as 400 calories, and it's absolutely nowhere near that. So obviously, look at what you tend to eat at home, how many calories that comes through. You're probably picking quite healthy options. If you're going out for something that's quite greasy, like, don't take the piss with it and track it as the lowest thing you can find on MyFitnessPal. So a lot of restaurants do have a calories on the menu, but if they don't, again, choose an option from a different restaurant. So you've got places like Five Guys, Pizza Hut, Pizza Express, Domino's, KFC, McDonald's, Nando's, Frankie's and Benny's, Chiquitos. All pretty much any chain restaurant does tend to give their information on MyFitnessPal. A lot of time it will have macros on it. Most of it, well, there's always calories for those. Might not have macros, but don't worry too much about the macros. Just, if you eat meat, choose a fairly high, a large portion of meat in your meal that you're getting your protein in. If you're vegetarian, obviously you want some sort of meat alternative in there, not just a carb-based meal. And just a little tip on MyFitnessPal, restaurants will have the calories on there, but there'll be a lot of different variations, so you might not know what to pick, because you might see Nando's chicken butterfly has 300 and something calories and has 200 and something. But a lot of the time, the more accurate ones, they do actually have a little, I think it's green tick on them. So go for those options, because MyFitnessPal is a database where anyone could add in anything, and you can probably find what your friends added in, kind of thing. So a lot of it won't be very accurate, but things that have a tick on do tend to be more accurate.